Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We are taking a deep dive into this ancient text about ultimate freedom, but we're going to decode it using the language of modern CAC. We're going to explore how you can go from being just a user of reality to its developer. So let's just jump right in with a question that honestly gets to the very heart of this. Just think about your own life for a second. Do you feel like you're simply using the reality you've been given, just operating within its fixed rules? Or do you ever get that feeling that you might just have the power to rewrite its fundamental code? There's this ancient Buddhist concept, unobstructed use, and it describes a state of just total freedom. And really, the best way to wrap our heads around it today is to think of it like having root access to reality's operating system. No more permission denied, no lag, no system conflicts, just pure, seamless execution of whatever you want. Okay, so that immediately brings up the big question, right? How in the world do you get that admin password? How do you make that leap from being a standard user to a full-on system developer who can call on any function, anytime, at will? Well, the difference is just staggering. I mean, look at this. The system user, that's most of us, most of the time, we operate with limitations, we have to follow the existing rules, and we run into glitches and delays all the time. But the system developer, what the source calls a bodhisattva, has zero limitations, can freely call any function, and experiences instant, perfect execution. It's not just an update, it's a complete system overhaul. So this admin access thing, it isn't just some vague, mystical idea. It actually comes with a really powerful and, believe it or not, well-documented set of tools. We can think of it as a full application programming interface, or API, for interacting directly with reality itself. And here they are. The source material lays out 10 core functions in this API, and these are basically the permissions you need to read and write every possible dimension of existence. Everything from individual beings and the spaces they live in, all the way up to the fundamental laws that govern the whole show. Let's just translate these first two because this is where it gets wild. The function for beings is like having a holographic life editor. You get full read/write access to all life forms because you see them for what they are, structures of consciousness. Then the function for realms, that's like a space engine controller. It gives you the power to manipulate entire worlds, literally compress them, expand them, or even nest them inside each other. And the power just keeps scaling up from there. The API for laws makes you a rule programmer, somebody who can see how every single rule just reflects one universal law. And the function for body, this is insane. It turns you into a multi-threaded being, capable of manifesting in countless forms at once, completely dissolving the idea of a single separate self. So when you bundle all these functions together, I'm talking full access to your intentions, your wisdom, your power to create miracles, and the force to sustain it all, you become what we can only describe as a full-stack execution engine. You're capable of carrying out any task across any layer of reality, from front-end appearances all the way down to back-end physics. Now, what happens when you activate all of these abilities at once? Well, it's pretty much exactly what gamers call entering God mode. Suddenly, the normal rules of the game they don't apply to you anymore. These ancient texts actually describe what this looks like, with feats that sound completely impossible. Get this. This quote describes being able to place all the worlds in the universe into a single pore of your skin, and none of them get crowded. Come on. That sounds like pure fantasy, right? So how is that even possible? Well, here's the secret. At this level of understanding, you realize space isn't a fixed physical constant. It's not some empty box that things exist inside of. It's a flexible cognitive structure. And once you truly get that, you can fold it, you can stack it, you can manipulate it however you want. This God mode basically unlocks the execution layer of reality. So miracles are just functional calls, like making a single sound that's instantly understood in all languages. Power is the ability to break physical rules, like fitting an entire universe inside a speck of dust. And force, that ensures perfect system stability, allowing the whole process of enlightenment to just run continuously without ever crashing. Now, this whole perspective completely transforms the experience of life. It stops being a struggle against things you can't change. It becomes what the source text calls a bodhisattva game. And in this game, reality is a fully playable scenario. All the concepts that we see as these rigid opposites, suffering and enlightenment, or being immortal versus being a Buddha, they're not fixed states anymore. They become interchangeable roles you can freely adopt and switch between to interact with the world in the most effective way. And at the absolute core of this entire ability is the mind itself. The source describes it as the operating system kernel. It's got the qualities of the earth, right, able to support everything. It's like the ocean, absorbing all experiences. It's like a diamond, totally unbreakable and stable. And of course, it's like space, completely limitless without any boundaries. Okay, so what does all of this ancient, incredibly high-level stuff, actually mean for us, right here, right now? How can we start applying this without, needing to fit universes into a pore of our skin? Well, the source actually gives us a very practical guide. You can think of these 8 guidelines as a series of patches for your own mental operating system. It's really about questioning your limiting beliefs, understanding that your actions are literally the code that shapes your reality. And maybe most importantly, viewing your life not as something to escape from, but as the perfect training ground to become a developer. Ultimately, this whole explainer, this entire ancient system, it really boils down to one profound daily question that you can ask yourself. Am I being limited by the world, just functioning as a simple user who's stuck with the default settings? Or am I freely using my life, stepping into my power as its developer? The choice, it seems, is ours to make.